there, Mr. Krabs. Are you ready to party?
Oh, I'm ready to party!
Let's take a look at 13 mistakes that you might have missed in episodes from Season 3 of SpongeBob. You don't want to miss these, so watch closely and see if you can spot them. Now let's dive in. Number 1. The Great Snail Race.
On your mark, get set, slither!
The first episode we're going to be taking a look at is The Great Snail Race. In this one, Squidward reveals he has a pet snail he's entering into a race. SpongeBob decides Gary needs to get into shape in order to win.
Come on, Gary, move it. Let's go, faster, faster. Gary happens to be in the best shape of his life.
Unfortunately, SpongeBob pushes Gary way too hard, which results in his exhausted state during the day of the race.
He doesn't look so good, and he's losing control!
Disaster strikes as Gary's exhaustion causes him to spin out of control. But during these scenes, there are a few errors, so let's check them out.
My snail.
Patrick, that's a rock.
Yeah, thanks, I know. He's got nerves of steel.
Hey, what are you standing on anyway?
During this scene, Patrick is standing on Squidward's back. But can you spot the mistake? Whenever we see the two of them from inside SpongeBob's home, we can't see Patrick's legs on Squidward's shoulders. But whenever shown from the outside, we can clearly see his legs, and they are placed in such a way that we should be able to see them from the inside as well.
Don't give me that look. I said no, mister. Get going, Gary. Go, 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 go.
Throughout nearly the entire episode, SpongeBob is wearing a red coach's uniform. As we can see here, SpongeBob's pants are red. However, during this one close-up, SpongeBob's pants are blue. They go back to their usual red color right after.
And they're off! Number 6 Snelly rockets out of the starting blocks.
At the very beginning of the race, we can clearly see that there are 3 lanes. One for Snelly, one for Gary, and one for Patrick's Rock. However, that isn't always the case.
And he's losing control!
In this scene, when Gary is spinning out of control, he slides across 5 lanes instead of just 3, which is significantly more than what we saw earlier. It's most likely just for dramatic effect, but it is a little off-putting and the inconsistency is kind of noticeable. Now keep a close eye on the audience in this next scene. These mistakes are harder to spot. This scene happens really fast, but if we pause it and look at the crowd, then there are a few mistakes. Fred, the brownish-greenish fish on the far left, appears in many episodes, and he is usually wearing a pair of brown pants. However, in this scene, he isn't wearing any. The blue fish in the back row with the red shirt has no legs, and neither does the green fish on the very far right with the mustard-colored shirt.
Well, of course I expect you to eat this. It's scientifically designed to help you win tomorrow. Gary?
Number 2, chocolate with nuts.
Did you say chocolate? Chocolate? Chocolate!
You might have guessed it, but up next on our list is chocolate with nuts. In this episode, SpongeBob and Patrick try their hand at being salesmen and go around selling some chocolate, but they aren't very good at it.
Hell, no self-respecting candy bar salesman would be caught dead without one of these.
Wow, what is it?
It's a candy bar bag, you knucklehead.
Hey, weren't you the same guy who sold us these candy bar bags?
I don't recall, but it looks to me like you fellas have got a lot of bags there. One of my patented candy bar bag carrying bags.
We'll take 20.
And unfortunately, the two of them end up getting conned and spending more money than they make during their venture. But as they pursue their careers as entrepreneurs, there are a few mistakes along the way, starting with the first house they go to.
Did you say chocolate?
Yes, sir. With or without nuts.
Chocolate? Chocolate! Chocolate!
During this scene, whenever the fish is first shown, his eyes have a yellow coloring to them. However, after Patrick says, with or without nuts, and it cuts back to this fish, his eyes are suddenly green, and stay that way whenever he starts to lose it over chocolate. His tongue also changes color too. Whenever he first starts speaking, his tongue is red, and whenever his eyes change color and he starts yelling, it's pink.
Chocolate!
Lady.
Chocolate! Chocolate!
Crazed chocolate fish makes his return, and there is another mistake in this scene. SpongeBob and Patrick drop all their bags except for the brown one SpongeBob has. Patrick isn't holding one. Instead, he has pants in his hand. As they're being chased down the road, Patrick's pants are back on, and they're each holding a red bag.
As you can see, me and Chocolate no longer hang. You can keep that for $5.
In this scene, the mistake happens with the photo. Whenever he first pulls it out, it reads, "Me at 13." But during the quick close-up, the word "yours" abbreviated appears. It's gone again in the next scene and does not appear in any of the faraway shots later. During the first shot of this house, there are 3 steps leading up to the front door. Here, the 2 friends meet the con man, and he puts on a show to get them to feel bad for him.
Oh, no! No! Ow.
Whenever the con man falls down the stairs, there are suddenly 10 steps, which makes his fall a lot more painful than it would have been if he had just fallen down 3.
Yes? Hello, young lady. We're selling chocolate.
Number 3, new Student Starfish.
It cost me one of my good noodle stars.
Well, who cares about a stupid star?
Gee, Patrick, it seems like you would care a lot about stupid stars, considering you are one.
In this episode of New Student Starfish, Patrick joins SpongeBob during his boating school class, and things start to get pretty tense between them after Patrick gets SpongeBob in trouble.
No matter how many stars I have, 74.
Who said that? Was it him?
I doubt it. That's Roger, our class science project.
What does he teach us?
SpongeBob, I've had enough of your nonsense. Now collect your things and move to the available desk in the back of the room.
While SpongeBob and Patrick are cracking some jokes and getting into trouble, there are a few mistakes that happen. The first one has to do with the Good Noodle board itself.
And those drinks are recorded here, on the Good Noodle board. Best part of being early is you get to sit close to the teacher. Think you can handle the second chair?
I'm learning!
Whenever SpongeBob first shows Patrick the board, there are loads of stars all over it, especially under SpongeBob's name at the top. If you keep an eye on the board in the next scene, whenever the 2 friends are taking their seats, you can see that the stars are no longer on the board. We may be looking at the board from an angle, but the white lines are still visible, but the stars are not there.
As if I really look like this.
The close-up of the drawing of Mrs. Puff is a little different than what Mrs. Puff puts into her drawer. The design is simplified, but it's also missing things. The arrow isn't filled in, some of the squiggly lines are gone, and so is the dress the drawing of Mrs. Puff had on.
As I was saying, when turning left, you must
It's
switch
so
on
hard to
your left.
hear.
As punishment, SpongeBob is sent to the back of the classroom. Written on the desk are the words, "School is for chumps." However, the words are missing in certain scenes. Whenever we see the classroom from SpongeBob's perspective, the words are there. But every time we are looking at SpongeBob from the other side of the desk, the words are gone.
Young man, this is your first day, so I'll let you off with a warning. As for you, SpongeBob, I expect more from a good noodle. Pay attention.
Number 4, Crabby Land.
I'm not much of a summer person, SpongeBob.
Davy Jones on the jib! Do my ears deceive me? Is it really the first day of summer?
Up next on our list is Crabby Land. In this episode, everyone but Squidward is excited for the very first day of summer, especially Mr. Krabs, because to him, summer means only one thing.
The intoxicating aroma of a charcoal briquette. The hypnotic sound of a lawnmower running over a flip-flop.
The money!
The money?
While Mr. Krabs devises a plan to use the summer freedom kids have to make more money, we'll be looking at a few mistakes made along the way.
See anything, Mr. Krabs?
Oh, their hero breaks me heart. No!
While Mr. Krabs is watching children in their natural habitat to learn how to get them to come to the Krusty Krab, he drops his spyglass. It falls right on the other side of the boat. When the camera zooms out and Mr. Krabs is dramatically yelling, "No!" there is no spyglass on the ground where it should have fallen. During this scene, SpongeBob is trying to entertain the kids, who are rapidly becoming angry. He's wearing a red mask, but when the bubble pops and the liquid splatters him in the eyes, his mask is gone for that close-up shot. It reappears right after though. Well, that's all for today. If you enjoyed it, be sure to subscribe. Then click the video on screen to watch our newest video. See you there.
Well, maybe it is stupid, but it's also dumb.
Patrick's right, Squidward. Sea bears are no laughing matter. Why, once I met this guy,